The creator of Succession, Jesse Armstrong's latest project, is another look at billionaire life. Let's talk about the HBO Max movie Mountainhead. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the new film Mountainhead. This is an HBO Max original, and it is streaming now on the platform. It stars Steve Carell, Rami Youssef, Jason Schwartzman, and Corey Michael Smith, all as these rich, mostly tech people, I think, but rich people nonetheless, investors, business people, what have you, taking a retreat. And we'll get into the specifics a little bit more and my thoughts on the film in just a second. First, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're a subscriber already for Dan Reviews It, thank you so much for coming back. I love it when you guys check out my stuff and continue to do so. But if you're not, please consider subscribing and click that notification bell too, so you get the alerts for all my new videos. And of course, liking this video and sharing it on your socials and commenting helps the channel tremendously as well. All right, so now full disclosure, I've never seen Succession. I'm usually so behind on my HBO shows. Now that I have Max, it's a lot easier to, kind of watch them as they're new. But, Succession started years ago before Max was a thing, and so I just never caught up with it. I'm sure at some point I will check it out. I have friends that love it, and I know it's sort of a send-up of that billionaire lifestyle, kind of soap opera-esque a little bit. So this is, to my understanding of what Succession is, this is kind of similar. It's a bit satirical. It's certainly got some elements of both comedy and drama, but it's sort of skewering the life and viewpoints of multi-million, and billionaires. And so we have his directorial debut here, Jesse Armstrong. He was a writer for Succession and other shows as well. I mean, he's not just worked on Succession. He's been an executive consultant for a while on What We Do in the Shadows. He created the show Peep Show from several years back. But Succession is certainly what he's best known for. And this is his directorial debut for a feature film. And so you've got these four wealthy friends, and I named them already: Steve Carell, Jason Schwartzman, Corey Michael Smith, and Rami Youssef. And they meet for a retreat amidst a bunch of global upheaval about AI-generated disinformation that partially the one billionaire's platform called Tram is responsible for. Kind of the most disinformation. And so some of these guys you could sort of peg, okay, he's supposed to be this person, and he's kind of, leaning into the personality of this guy. So these are not based on anybody real, but in the satirical fashion, you can sort of cherry pick a little bit, of the traits that maybe we know about certain people. But the one who goes by Hugo Super Van Yock, who is the Jason Schwartzman character, he is sort of the butt of the joke of the group, because he only has a net worth of $521 million, and the others are billionaire. So he is, sort of the underling in this particular group, significantly less wealthy. But it's his new place, Mountainhead, in which they all meet. And obviously that is a reference to Ayn Rand's The Fountainhead, which there's, some parallels here with that as well. But the friends dub themselves the Brewsters, and in Brewster tradition, at one point they all go up to the top of a ski resort and write in lipstick their net worth on their chest, so everybody knows, everybody can get in line here of who's got the most currently or whatever. But anyway, so this sort of goes into a place of, okay, there's a lot of AI disinformation. This person's trying to perhaps purchase or take over this guy's corporation, and so there's some sort of infighting, but more sort of playful banter at first with their net worth and their business ventures and whatnot. And amidst the backdrop of all this news that they're seeing about the spread of disinformation and the AI and stuff, and it turns into something a little bit different. Almost two-thirds in, at least a halfway in. We won't get into that for spoiler territory, but it's a shame because that is the only mildly interesting thing about this movie. I don't usually like turn off movies. On occasion, I'll be like, okay, I'm not in the right headspace for this. Maybe I'll go back to it or what have you. But this, I was just like, I hated all of these characters. And they're all acted well. Steve Carell, continues to surprise us all, I think, and he shouldn't anymore, I guess, because we've seen him do so many different types of performances. But he is certainly the crowning star achievement in the acting world of this picture. Boy, is he great! You just have to watch him. But I did almost not have to watch him because I was just like, man, this is not great. I don't like these characters. I want them all to die. I wouldn't care one second. And look, this is the type of movie that, sure, what's going on in the world right now and some of the people in charge and what have you, certainly in this country, are definitely up for skewering, absolutely. And I think that's why Succession was probably such a big hit when it came out. But it doesn't make me want to watch these people, like I don't even like watching them on the news or whatever. So watching a movie about them just doesn't interest me. And I think it might explain why there is a huge disparity on Rotten Tomatoes between the audience and the critics. The critics are up at like 78% or something. I believe the audience score last I looked was 21%. That is a huge swing. And I think it goes to show that this movie is not going to really be what we're gravitating towards in this moment right now, where there's so much actual turmoil going on, and AI really is, helping to spread a lot of disinformation. So look, that's not really about this movie, but it sort of is, because it's about the timing of the movie and how unlikable these characters are. Now, if you stick with it though, the last like third of the movie maybe, where we have this sort of shift in plot, and there's I think a big shift in tone, because it goes from four guys, trying to basically swing their D's around, to these bumbling idiots trying to do something that just goes horribly awry. And I don't even want to say what that is because it's in that spoiler realm. But that's the only interesting part about this movie. So it's unfortunate that you have to slog through like an hour first before you get to a compelling 35 or 40 minutes. And I'm not saying that even the end part is great, but it's certainly worth watching, whereas I hated everything about the first like hour of this movie. I could see where they were going with the satire, but it wasn't funny. And I think a lot of that does speak to where we are right now. I try not to get political on this channel, but I think anyone that watches my channel with any regularity knows kind of where I stand on things. But anyway, so at the end of the day, I can say that this had some good performances, a great performance from Steve Carell, absolutely. Rami Youssef, very good here as well. But overall, it's not the time for this, I don't think. And it certainly does not pick up any steam until that last portion. So I leave Mountainhead with a D plus. I can see why there's a huge swing between the audience and the critics on this one. I side for sure with the audience. All right, that will do it for this time on Dan Reviews It. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.